Well, sometimes even the right wing does things that, help us on the rest of the country. Um, I'm talking about the Supreme Court. Let's face it, the Supreme Court is really a tool of the right wing, but even sometimes they do things that help people. Uh, well, what I'm talking about is a May 15th, 2025 decision that they had. It was concerning deadly force. Before, the way that prosecutors would judge if deadly force was justified or not was the last few seconds. The Supreme Court ruled that the whole totality of the incident has to be considered. In other words, a police officer cannot just jump in front of a moving car and open fire. While his life was in danger by jumping in front of the moving car, his action put him in danger. You have to look at the whole incident. If, for instance, in Sandra Good's case, one officer told her to get out of there. She waved the car around first because it was an icy situation. Another officer, the one who did the fatal shooting, was all around the car and walked in front of the car after an officer told her to get out of here. Once that statement is made, anything that's done after is the officer's fault. The Supreme Court ruled that. They said that the whole incident has to be considered. Also, they said that, basically, if you put yourself in danger and you shoot, you're responsible. There is no justified shooting. It's an act that you created among yourselves. And this is important because all sorts of people are arguing, well, this, that, the other thing. Let's base it on the Supreme Court's decision. May 15th, 2025. It was dealing with Fourth Amendment rights, and it had to deal with police shootings. And a police officer cannot put himself deliberately in danger to justify shooting. If he could step away, that has to be viewed also. This is important because they've zoomed in on her wheels. She was actually pulling away from the officer that shot her. He actually leaned over the hood in order to make the shots through the front window, the first shot. Now the question arises. The second and third shots were made from the side window, an open a driver's window. So my question is, what's the justification for the second and third shot? Then there's another question that's raised. Someone is bleeding out. A doctor is on the scene. He's legally obligated to do what he can to save her life. He's stopped by the police, by the ICE officers. They say that they have a doctor on the way. The doctor is 15 minutes away. You don't have to be an EMT, a doctor, a nurse, a medical professional to realize that in a case where someone is shot and bleeding, every minute counts. Now, I'm not saying that the doctor could have saved her life. He could have tried. Maybe he could have. Now, the question arises, is the officer guilty for shooting when he walked around the car photographing, had a phone in one hand? As someone who used to shoot 13,000 rounds of ammunition a month, most of it pistol, less than 1,000 rounds of rifle a year, 11,500 rounds easy pistol. I can tell you that in a life-threatening situation, you're not going to hang onto your cell phone in one hand and fire in the other. There's such a thing as muzzle flip. You want to make sure that your shots are accurate. Any shooting instructor will tell you, any certified shooting instructor, that in a life-threatening situation, you wrap both hands around the firearm. This way, your shots have a better chance of going where they're intended because there is muzzle flip. In other words, when you fire a firearm, you're exploding there's a primer, and then there's the gunpowder. The gunpowder itself is not real gunpowder. It's actually cellulose with nitroglycerin in it. It's a nitrocellulose mixture. That's what gunpowder is, the smokeless gunpowder that people use today. I know because I reloaded, and I reloaded well over 100,000 rounds. I reloaded for myself. I reloaded for other people. I made a few bucks doing it a little over a decade ago. So I can tell you, someone who's shot that much pistol, that there is flip. I've shot 38s, 9mm, 357s, and 45s. Those are what I usually shot at the range. So there is muzzle flip from all of them. It varies from firearm to firearm. That was a killing. It was not a justified shoot. Basically, he could have stepped back and not been in danger. The question arises, how is this going to be covered up? There's so much film of the incident, so many cell phones recorded it. I mean, it's from all angles. And you can even see in the officer's angle from his cell phone, mind you, a cell phone, not a body camera, a cell phone that he was hand holding at the same time he was shooting. Making a movie to remember. This was a cold-blooded killing. Plain and simple. If he isn't charged with first-degree murder, then the system is broken. Then it's not functioning properly. Because the truth of the matter is, there is no justice in the system. There's just us in the system.